We have to talk about the situation involving Glen and Kilmacud Crokes. We're told that members of both teams will now meet Croke Park officials tomorrow night, so we're still not going to get much of a resolution in the next 24 hours. We're not going to get a resolution in the next 24 hours. What are the learnings from this? Because it's now dragged on well over a week.
This is crazy. It's a rules breach. It's down to the GAA to fix this. How they've set back and put this back on amateur clubs, essentially, to try and fix this. And now we're 8 days on, and guys have gone back with the county. The momentum, there's a great final, and it's almost taken the taste off it. But how many times do we sit here and we talk about appeals and teams being named before games, malaise, refereeing decisions, Hawkeye last year? There's so many things wrong with these rules and laws, which is all we hear sometimes from referees of, we're applying the rules and laws. These rules and laws are wrong, and they're not being applied.
There's a grey area, though. There are so many grey areas in the rules as well, because you can kind of interpret them, but that shouldn't be the case, because they're the same for every level.
Culturally, we have a very peculiar relationship with the rules in the GAA, and it's partly because they're vague, because the rules have to suit junior football and also inter-county football, and that's just not going to work. And when you've got vague rules like this, you need to have strong leadership, and we didn't see it this week from the GAA. Last week I watched that game, and directly after I watched Manchester United play against Arsenal. For 1 second of that game at the end, when Man United needed to get an equaliser, if they had Arsenal had an extra player in the field, there'd be uproar, absolute uproar, but there'd be action. And we just missed the action this week, and we're putting it back on clubs. I empathise with both clubs in this situation. It's a very, very difficult place to be. But this is where we needed the GAA to fill that void and take leadership in this role.
But was it not on the day, though? Because somebody sent a sub on, somebody didn't take the other sub off. There were officials there on the day. Is it something that should have been resolved at the final whistle on the day? End of story.
You really can only identify this retrospectively, because it's video analysis or whether it's reviewing of the game. Like in real time, there was on the sideline, there was a furore, which was indicative that they did know something was going on. However, there was nothing in the match review report from the referee.
The reality is, it should never have happened. The GAA officials should never let this. In any other sport, you look at basketball, you look at soccer, there's a specific way in which you take players off and
you wouldn't be waiting for an objection, is what you're saying. You wouldn't be waiting for an official objection from a club.
It's a rules breach. It's the GAA officials have to fix this. The GAA must fix this. To go back and to have players' names involved, to have teams involved, that was a pinnacle of Glen and Kilmacud seasons, and to almost like have it pinned back on them that they're somewhat at fault in this is crazy.
And it's unfair on Kilmacud as well. I think they're getting well,
they can't win either. Nobody can win in the club scene.
You can't argue that Shane Walsh part is playing a role in this, and some of the rhetoric around it is unfair on Kilmacud. It's not their fault in this instance, and it's not Glen's fault, but we need the GAA to fix it.